Welcome back to 5 Minutes with Dr. A. So we started looking at bleaching and whitening last time, and we're going to delve straight in and look at a couple of cases because it's so much easier to explain a topic like this with actually looking at real life cases of patients that we've treated over the years as well. So we'll start off with number one. Number one is a typical example because it's very rare for us to do whitening simply by itself. It's always done as part of something else, or usually anyway. Or there's a reason that it's prompted someone to come in for it. Either there's a wedding date that's come in, or there's a life goal or target that's come in at a particular point, or there's something else that's going on that's prompted the discussion that's to happen with regards to whitening. So in this particular situation, we had a lovely, lovely patient of ours a few years ago who came in with a couple of missing front teeth. They'd had them built up with implants elsewhere. They weren't particularly happy with the shape, the colour, and the implants themselves, or shall I say, the bridge holding the implant on top of the implants had been coming out a number of times. So, as part of the overall treatment, we were going to be changing the bridge, and we'll see that on the photos afterwards. But as part of the actual treatment, the conversation about the colour of the teeth obviously came up. And we realised at that point that actually this was the perfect time to do it before we did any permanent work afterwards that couldn't be changed in the future. So having delved into the conversation and looking into the various different options, this is what we were starting with. So we're looking at this particular case and we're looking at the teeth, shapes, sizes, but more importantly for this discussion, the colour of these teeth as well, which seems fairly natural. We didn't want to overdo it with the colour change, but at the same time, we did want to try and get it as white as possible so that we can get the nicest end result afterwards as well. It's so much easier to try and match front teeth in terms of bonding, veneers, crowns, or whatever it is that we're doing to much whiter teeth than it is to try and match it to much yellower or darker teeth. And the reason for that is that there's a lot less anatomy for us to try and match to, which makes it a lot less complicated, but also the whiter shades are much easier to blend into. So in this particular case, we wanted to get it as white as we could with it still looking natural. We did go down the route of Enlighten in this particular case, and we did a couple of weeks and got it all the way to the end result that we wanted. And once we've actually replaced the bridge, it gave us the ability to be able to reshape, if we look at the after photo now, to reshape the contours of the teeth and make them blend in better, but also blend in with the gums better as well. So any normal person looking at this, or even dentists to be honest, looking at these photos couldn't predict or accurately guess that those three front teeth were not natural, real teeth. And the colour of the teeth helps significantly with that because it's very well blended in. And as long as we maintain that in the long run, that's the most important thing with a case like this. Right, so moving on to our second case, which is a bit more of an extreme example. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to use this, because if bleaching whitening is used well, it can do all sorts of interesting and amazing changes to the teeth. This lovely patient came to see us wanting some options about her two front teeth. Now, obviously, there are so many options available in a case like this, and looking at the photo, we can see there is a huge difference in the darkness and the colour of those two front teeth in comparison to all of the natural teeth. So this is not an easy standard case. This is a challenging case by all measures. And all of us as dentists would struggle with a case like this under normal circumstances. What we decided after having discussed all the options in terms of veneers, whitening, crowns, and even bonding to a certain extent, that actually we wanted to maintain the natural tooth colour, the natural tooth shape in this one. We liked the position of the teeth. We liked the way they looked. It was literally down to colour. So we went down the route of normal whitening to begin with. We whitened the rest of the teeth and the front teeth together for a couple of weeks. And then what we decided to do at that point was to really bombard those front teeth with as much whitening gel as possible from different angles, specifically for them only, and not whiten any of the remaining teeth because we were happy with the colour of the remaining teeth at that particular point. So we continued for another 3 weeks in this particular case with those two front teeth separately from everything else. And we've managed to get an incredible colour change by really controlling the contrast between the two. It's very difficult to whiten two things at different times and try and get them to match. But hopefully you all agree that looking at the end result on this particular case, the end result has lined up perfectly. And the maintenance for this in the future will be slightly different because obviously the two front teeth will want to revert back. So they need that little bit of extra push constantly to keep them at that colour. But there is no doubt the difference that we can see between the befores and the afters in a case like this with literally something as simple as whitening. This could have easily been done with crowns, veneers, or much more complex ways of doing dentistry. But because we've managed to preserve the tooth structure the way we have, those teeth are going to be lovely and healthy for a very, very long time. Hope that's been useful. I look forward to seeing you again on the next episode.